On the day that is supposed to be so paramount in the year, 11 mass shootings. And then the next day we had another shooting. I'm pretty sure there's another mass shooting that happened today and yesterday. I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be another one by the end of this week. Hello guys, welcome to another episode on Let's Talk Battles with Uche. I am your host, Uche. If you are listening to my podcast for the first time, please make sure to subscribe, share with your friends and family. If you are watching on YouTube, please also make sure to subscribe, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Share your comments down below, and do not forget to hit that bell notification so anytime I upload a video, you'll be the very first to be notified. Today I'm very heavy-hearted. There's a lot of emotions that I'm dealing with right now, you know. Emotion of excitement, emotion of confusion, emotion of hope, emotions of hopelessness, emotions of anxiety. Just there's a lot. As you guys probably know, unless you have been living under a rock, the world is plagued with all kinds of fuckery right now. Especially here in America, for example, there's so many reportings and, you know, of mass shootings everywhere. And I'm recording this on July 6th. And as you guys probably know, the U.S. Independence Day is July 4th. And on that day, there was a mass shooting in Highland Park, Illinois, where I believe about 30 people were injured and about 7 people died. This just happened this past weekend, July 4th, while people were celebrating their independence. Can you just imagine, bro? I try to imagine waking up in the morning on a holiday that is supposed to mean something so deep and personal. You know, like you're supposed to be celebrating your independence. You get dressed with your family, your significant other, your kids, your good friends, your best friends. You know, you go out there just to, you know, relax and have a good time and celebrate your Independence Day, celebrate your freedom. And then you get gunned down. Maybe you don't make it back home. Maybe your spouse doesn't make it back home. Your child doesn't make it back home. Or now you're worried about going to the hospital because somebody may not make it back home. And yes, I know that the media is talking about this, you know, this whole mass shooting that happened in Highland Park. But what a lot of people don't realize is that there were actually numerous mass shootings that happened that exact same day. On July 4th, and I'm going to share screenshots here so you guys can see that I'm not making this up. There were a couple that happened on July 4th, one in California, another one in Massachusetts, Wisconsin, another one in California, Minnesota, Missouri, Colorado, New York, another one in Illinois, Chicago this time, Virginia, all in one day. While families all across the United States were celebrating their independence, they were busy getting gunned down. And if that's not already sad enough, the next day there were 2 mass shootings that happened. I can't make this shit up. Another mass shooting twice, one in New York and another one in Indiana. At this point, this is damn ridiculous. This is fucking stupid. I know a lot of people probably feel some type of way because I know in America, the right to bear arm, you know, people don't want to give up their freedom of bearing arm because I think it's an amendment, you know, one of the amendments. But we have a problem here. The fact that almost, like literally every week since this year, almost every day, literally every week, for almost every day, there is a gun-related incident. There's mass shootings everywhere. This shit is so common, and it sounds so sad for me to actually admit this, but this is so common that it's expected now. Like when I hear someone is getting gunned down, I just like, okay, what's new? And then the president or whoever comes out and gives a press conference. And then, you know, if you work in some organization, the president or CEO writes some letter, and then business back as usual until the next one. If it is not obvious that there is a problem here, I don't know what else is. And the reason why I'm making this podcast episode or this YouTube episode is not to fear monger or, to sound nihilistic or pessimistic, but I'm trying to be realistic here. I'm trying to let people know, like remind people of the reality that we're facing. We're facing some really dark times. And I know a lot of people across the country are really unbothered because it has nothing to do with them. But this can be you. This can literally be you. This can be me. This could be somebody you love. The fact, especially at the rate that this shit is happening, the fact that this is so rampant, the fact that this is so common, it could literally be you. It could be somebody you love. It could be somebody that you respect, somebody you have a relationship with. It could be a near miss. I am very heavy on spirituality. I don't believe this is man-made at all. I think we're dealing with some dark powers and principalities, that permeates the universe. But that's a whole nother conversation. Things are bad right now, but it's not bad yet. Like, it's going to get worse, much, much worse, before it gets better. I do believe that things are going to get better, significantly better eventually. But in order for things to get better, it has to get much worse. Like, I feel like there's this pain. I talked about this many times, that there's a pain that is in the world. This pain permeates all of us. You can try to compartmentalize and conceptualize this pain as much as you want, but the pain is still there. The thing about this pain is that it manifests itself in so many different ways. And the reason why this pain is only going to get worse is because we don't have the factors necessary to make this pain any less. I mean, we live in a very narcissistic, ego, capitalist society that promotes lack of vulnerability. No one is being honest as to this pain. Nobody's discussing this pain heart to heart. There's always some type of pacifier. There's always something out there to numb this pain. When we live in a world that promotes all kinds of nefarious shit, in a world that promotes hate, competition, I mean, look at so many people that don't have any opportunity, especially we're still dealing with this pandemic shit. Okay, the economy is ridiculously high. We got people who are educated, have college degrees, even graduate degrees, can't even get a good paying job. Meanwhile, the cost of living is increasing. I feel like every month, especially now, things cost significantly way worse than they used to cost in the past. Where does that pain go? At some point, we do have to start being honest with ourselves. I know that in the world that we live in today, you're not supposed to show emotions. You're not supposed to talk about intimate, deep, personal stuff. We're not supposed to be vulnerable because, especially for black men, you're not supposed to show emotions because emotions is weakness. But without addressing these things, without talking about our pain, without talking about the sources of our pain, we're only making it worse. Okay? And yes, like I said, things are going to get significantly worse before they get better. But how long these things get worse before they get better is going to depend on how much work we put in right now. It is very sad for me to admit this. I'm not trying to sound like a pessimist, but it's going to happen again and again and again and again and again. Like I said, at this point, when I hear about these mass shootings, I just like, okay, it is what it is. Next. Because we're not addressing the root cause of these pain. If you have anyone in your life right now, and I'm being honest right now, if you know that you have people in your life who genuinely fuck with you, I'm talking about genuinely fuck with you. Like when you're with that person, the vibe is not awkward. This is not like a struggle relationship. This is the time to get closer to those people right now. Because there are the people who are going to help you elevate from this pain. The point I'm making is these are very dark times right now. These are very, very dark times. And we need all the love that we can get right now. If you know people in your life who truly love you, who truly fuck with you. I'm not talking about a struggle relationship. I'm talking about people, you're ride or die. This is the time to get closer to them. Because without these people, like I've always said in the past, one of the best things that you can do for yourself is being picky who you fuck with. Because your circle is going to be your blind spot mirror. In a time like this, we need all the love that we can get. In a time like this, when there's so much pain and this pain is getting worse, there's no time for chit chat. There's no time for fake shit. There's no time for disingenuous. You either fuck with me or you fuck off. Because we're dealing with some dark times, some dark powers and principalities out here. A lot of us are born in broken homes, raised in broken homes, trying so desperately to find ourselves in a world that keeps telling us that we're not enough. We're never enough. Like, we live in a world that is so dead in spirit. And we try to pacify our pain with so much of the glitter and glamorous things in the world. You know, this is why addiction is at all-time high right now. I mean, we have people who use vices like alcohol, drugs, sex, pornography, and, you know, even people who use vices of social media. Not that there's anything objectively wrong with every single one of those things that I mentioned, but when you're fighting something so deep and powerful inside of you, you become desperate to numb it. And these vices are easily accessible. These are the times that we need to be honest with ourselves and make real connection, like genuine connection with real people. I've talked about in the past how you need to find your tribe. Okay? This is especially more so for people who grew up in broken homes. People who didn't have the luxury of being raised in a loving home where mom and dad validated them. They didn't have a loving caretaker, caregiver, especially minorities like queer people. The concept of chosen family should not be anything brand new to us, okay? But don't give your energy to fuckery, because there's already a lot of fuckery out there, okay? And in order for you to find the right type of people for you, in order for you to find the right people for you who are going to be your blind spot mirror, and together you can rise against these weird ass time, is if you start with yourself. And just like RuPaul said, no one can ever love you unless you love yourself. If you can't love yourself, no one will ever love you, because you exude some type of energy. It is extremely important that we spend a copious amount of time investing our energy on the right people. There's a lot of people who are going through a lot of things and they do a good job masking things. Okay, when you see somebody that's probably addicted to alcohol, addicted to drugs, addicted to whatever, that is probably them trying so hard to mask their pain. So in a time like this, it is important that we invest our energy in the right people. At my stage right now, man, if I'm not feeling your energy, I'm out. Because I'm too grown for this shit. This is the type of message I'm trying to incentivize people with. Look for your tribe, because it's only going to get worse. The general public is not interested in making this shit better, to be honest with you, because somebody is capitalizing off of every fuckery. In a capitalist society, everyone is going to look for a way to capitalize off your pain. So the bulk of the work has to be done by you. At some point, it is important that we pull away from that pain. Take a pause, take a couple of steps back, and try to look at things from a totally different perspective. It is time to do something different. Let us heal together. Because like I said in the past, you know, I believe in oneness and spirituality. We're all in this shit together. The quicker you heal, the quicker I heal, the quicker we all heal, the better things will become quicker. So I just want to use this opportunity to incentivize people to take a couple of steps back and look at things from a totally different perspective. I know a lot of people hear about these mass shootings and, you know, gun violence going on all throughout the country, but quite unbothered because it has nothing to do with you. But it could be you. And the fact that this is only getting worse, I mean, look at these numbers. This is literally almost every day there's a gun shooting. Who's to say you won't be next? Who's to say whoever you love won't be next? How are you adding to the pain in the world that you're trying to avoid? That pain that you feel, how are you adding to that pain? Invest your energy in people who genuinely give a shit about you. How long it will take before it gets better is dependent on how quickly we act. That's the reason why I wanted to make this particular podcast episode. I didn't want to fear monger anyone, but I wanted to talk about some of the hard reality that we're facing right now. I mean, the fact that on the 4th of July, while everyone is supposed to be celebrating their Independence Day, we have 11 mass shootings all across the country. On the day that is supposed to be so paramount in the year, 11 mass shootings. And then the next day we had another shooting. I'm pretty sure there's another mass shooting that happened today and yesterday. I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be another one by the end of this week. I'm not trying to sound pessimistic, but I'm trying to paint a picture of reality, the reality that we're facing right now. And it's time to act. It is time to take a couple of steps back and reevaluate things from a totally different perspective. Because at the end of the day, healing is my #1 priority, as it should be yours, because we're all in this shit together. This is the end of today's episode. If you like what I'm about, please give me a thumbs up. Share your thoughts down below. Do you agree with me that truly America has a gun violence problem? If you don't agree with me, please share your thoughts down below as well. Please share this video with your friends and family. Also, don't forget to subscribe and do not forget to hit that bell notification so anytime I upload a video, you'll be the very first to be notified. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is UC_images. Facebook is Let's Talk with Uche. If you'd like to reach out via email, my email is letstalkwithuche@gmail.com. Thank you so much. Until next time. Bye-bye.